everyone. I'm just going to wait a sec to see if anyone's there. It's your biggest fear when you go on live, that there'll be nobody around and you'll be talking to yourself. Is anybody out there? Are you free to chat today and have a cuppa? I didn't put a scheduled notice up for this live because I was unsure whether I was going to be able to feel well enough to do it anyway, but I do. So I thought I would just pop on, say hello, catch up on a few things and show you my current project. Now I've got to figure out where to see you. If you pop up, there's 2 people. Hello, hello. Make yourself known, you guys. Write a message if you can. I would love to see who it is that's there. Hello. Anyway, cheers to you. It's a Thursday morning here in Australia, just after 11 o'clock, and it's a sunny day now. It was rainy this morning and a bit dismal, but it's come out nice. As you can see, all the reflection on my glasses. Oh, I so want to know who you 2 are. Yay, 3 people. Hello. Come and join me. Have you got a cuppa and your crochet? If I ever go onto a live and I schedule it beforehand so you know, make sure you bring your cuppa and crochet with you. This is my gorgeous gum nuts and gum leaf cup. It's one of these big buckets. I love the buckets. I love tea to last for a long time. And I don't care if it gets a bit cold either. It always gets drunk. Okay. Let me show you what I am making at the moment. If you follow me religiously on YouTube, you will see from my hello Sandy, you'll see from my long form videos that I've just started making this granny stitch shawl. Now, I've been wanting to make this for so very long, but I had a lot of hexagons that I needed to sort out and get finished because they were weighing very heavily on my shoulders because they were a project from last year or the year before. And then I thought that I had to use the complicated PLT method of joining because those hexagons were from Rachel at Cypress Textiles, and it was called a VV cowl, a vibrant vintage cowl that I made, and she used the PLT method, and that's the one where you have to pull a loop through and take your hook out of your work every single stitch. So I was really worried about doing that. Then I had a fiddle and tried the continuous join as you go method, and it worked. So all that stress for no reason because it works so quickly and it looks great too. So I was really happy about that. Got the hexagon blankets done and dusted. Then I just had to wait for this yarn to arrive from America because I was lucky enough to get myself an affiliate sponsor. And that sponsor is We Crochet Official, or nowadays you can reach them by going crochet.com on Google to find their website. So go and have a little look there. There's a few different yarns and types that I've not seen before. Lots more worsted weight because I'm a DK weight, which is an 8 ply. I am going to use more worsted and see what that's like. Hello, Alley Cat. Tell me what your real name is. I'd love to know your real names. But I'm loving getting to know you. Like I said, I'm getting to know you so much that being in front of the camera now is a lot more comfortable because I'm imagining who I'm talking to. Hello, Janice. Oh, it's so nice to see you. I usually see you doing your lives. I hope I hope you've had a good day because I'm guessing this is the end of your day, probably evening time over there. Anyway, so back to my affiliate sponsor. What they do is let me choose yarn that I want to use and make a project with. Hello, Susan. How are you going? And they send it to me for free, of course, so that they get advertising from me, which they do. And I'm so happy to do for them because I really like their yarn. This is the Knit Picks Brava Tweed. I'm dropping my own nephew off here. I'll save this video for later if I can manage that, and you'll be able to see the rest then, Janice. Have a nice evening. Yeah, worsted weight. So I was excited not only for the tweed, because I was really feeling like a tweedy project. I hadn't done one before, and I went to buy tweed at Spotlight, which is our big yarn and craft store. And would you believe they didn't have any in the cream? And the cream was what I really love the most. Okay, great. I'm in another life. So you've been here before. Hubby wants to get me out traveling again, but we've got a blanket to do because recently I put out a poll or a question and asked you if there was any blanket that you girls would like to make, what would it be? And quite a few of you said that you would like to do the granny stitch rectangle blanket, but not in granny stitch, in other stitches. So there was quite a few of you, and I thought, well, we'd better do that. So I'm mentally psyched to get that happening, and I've drawn out a grid to start thinking about some of the stitches that we might throw into that particular blanket. So I really don't want to go traveling because I've got crochet to do. I've got a lot of yarn out there that needs winding up for a yarn sale because I hand dye yarn as well. I've done a few videos on the hand dye yarn, but not many people like them. They've had so few views. I thought, oh, I would have been really interested if someone posted that. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm a bit loath to post hand dye yarn videos for that reason. Queensland's a hot place. I am halfway up Australia, Australia. I'm halfway up New South Wales. We get the same kind of weather that southeast Queensland gets. Very hot, very humid. We have a 7-month summer here and the humidity is a killer. So that's why I love autumn and winter. Not that we get autumn and spring anymore. The seasons have just become either summer or winter. Anyway, that's by the by. Queensland is a very hot place. It's hot in winter even. And our kids, one of our kids lives at the top of Queensland. Whoo, it's hot up there. Anyway, where were we up to? The rectangle blanket that I don't want to go away because I want to stay here and do that. Of course, there would be something else that I could take away to make and show you on the trip. But then hubby says, oh, why don't we just go to Tasmania just out of the blue? I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want to stay here. Anyway, we'll sort that out. Yeah, we just don't even get much of an autumn anymore. And it's really sad because autumn used to be beautiful here, as did spring. So things really have changed. All right, so that's the rectangle blanket. We will get to that. That will be a happening thing. Then I was going to mention more about my affiliate sponsor, We Crochet Official. That's right, choosing yarn. So I choose my yarn and they send it over from America. It doesn't take too long. It's a number of weeks, but you would expect that. So this time I did choose the tweed. And I am enjoying that this is working up quicker because projects with the 8-ply weight take so long, don't they? And then there's the sock yarn projects, which look so beautiful, especially when it's hand-dyed yarn with a 4mm hook I use for the sock yarn, even though it's a 4-ply yarn. It just makes it a nice drape. But yeah, it's a real treat to have this working up really quick. So I did some yesterday while we were away. And if I can stop talking so much, I'll do some in a minute. The affiliate sponsor. So what happens is if you tap on my links and go and check out the affiliate sponsor, and if you happen to buy some yarn on there, I'll get a smidgen of a payment of part of that purchase. So it's a little commission for putting the word out there. So like I said, I'm more than happy to, because if it's something I believe in, I'm happy to share it, especially if other people will enjoy the yarn too. So it gets shared on Instagram in my posts, on a reel, in my stories, but I can't put a clickable link in any of those. So if you're on Instagram and you want to check it out, you need to go to my bio, which is at the top of the page, and you'll see a link tree. So if you tap on link tree, there's 3 different things in there, and that's called your bio. And you'll see a link there to get to We Crochet Official. However, here on YouTube, I can put a clickable link in the description box. So that's where you'll find that. So you can tap straight there. I put 2 links in, one for the whole website and one for the yarn that I'm using as well. So have a little look. There's some really pretty colours. I actually regret not getting a pink to throw in. Look, it's totally wouldn't it wouldn't go with this colorway, but I really kind of wish I did something with a bit of pink. But I'm still loving this. The autumn warm colours. I was worried about the grey, because when you line them up, the grey looks quite cool and the rest of them are warm. And when I was buying that yarn online, hello, how are you? I thought that grey was a bit more of a taupe colour. Now, I've had that happen before. So anyway, I thought I'd throw it in, see how it looked. It's a little bit dank at times, if you know what I mean, but it will also help this shawl match in with the grey colour clothes that I wear. So I like that about it. Yeah, I think that's okay. And it will help me make this shawl as big as possible, because I don't want this one just to be around the neck. Yeah, I'm really loving it too, Sandy. Oh, did we, Viva? What was your Instagram handle? Yeah, I want this one to be a really big one that I can wrap around on those cold days, and maybe even wrap around the back of me if I don't put on too much more weight. Oh my God, isn't that an easy thing to do after menopause? Holy dooly. You know, we could talk about that one day, because the reason I think we could talk about that and being an empty nester is because I'm sure there's lots of you here who are in that exact same position. My stats, I forget the word, analytics, tell me that half of my followers on here are aged from 45 plus, which is what I expect, and that's what I want. And I think that's great, because we can relate to each other with so many things. Just have to turn this over, because I am flipping it each side, because I'm starting a new colour each row. I didn't want to start it on the same side every time. Oh, Vima, I must go and check you out when I'm finished on here, okay? Yeah, I didn't want any sort of odd sway to develop, so I am flipping sides for each colour that I do on this. Now, we were talking about phases in life, and one of the reasons that we can do so much crochet and have a crochet life now is because all our kids have left. You may or may not be retired. You may or may not be retired due to illness and bad health, which I am. I love my crochet life here with you all too, because you know what? When I first had a back injury, I was a nurse. I had surgery, and of course I was not able to do nursing again after that. Actually, I wasn't even able to work after that. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. I appreciate that. I love sharing all of our work. Oh, speaking of sharing, if you don't know how to use, listen to me, I'm flick-flacking through all the different topics. Oh dear. But I just want to tell you while I've got it in mind, if you don't know how to use my community tab, and I'm saying to you all, I'd love it if you'd share that in our community feed. Go back to my video. Hang on, I've got it written here. My vlog number 54. I actually take you through the steps to be able to use the community feed. It's easy once you know how, but when you go in, you'll see that the wording is a little bit odd. And of course, you wouldn't think to put the picture where it really should go or your own words. But anyway, you'll see what I mean on vlog number 54. Okay? I didn't want you to miss out, and I've so been able to enjoy the photos that some of you have put up. And are you ready for Granny Square Day? Hang on a sec. We'll come back to that in a minute. We were talking about our stage in life. Hello Diane, how are you? Our stage in life allows us to do lots of crochet because we don't, or mostly don't, have our children living at home anymore, and I miss them terribly, and I want my babies back. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's been something to give us purpose. So especially when I was medically retired from nursing and every job. Hi Krista, how are you? At the age of 44, I wasn't in a fit state to be having any sort of craft life for quite a while, because after that I had another surgery, you know, the old hysterectomy for these massive fibroids and all sorts of things. And then I had 4 other surgeries up here. So when I say I've got nerve pain, it is in my chest, down my arms, up my neck and upper back. So I have something called thoracic outlet syndrome. It's a rare thing where fibrous bands from our neck muscles strangle this nerve bundle that is here, and that nerve bundle is responsible for our sympathetic nervous system. So it's a very muddy area of trying to diagnose it. Long story short, I had 4 decompression surgeries, and even though I live with nerve pain every day, it's a lot better than it was. My daughter's had that as well, and so did one of my nieces. So we've all had the same surgeries. It's a familial problem that we've got. Anyway, that brings me to how I get to have such a crochet life, and how being here helps us not to feel lonely at all. If you guys feel lonely and you're not on Instagram, get on there, because the ladies are so lovely, so welcoming and so kind, because a lot of them are in our same boat. You'll find over time. So it's such a good support network, isn't it? Not only does it give us purpose and something to do with our time, we make friends and we discover other activities, like, for instance, Granny Square Day, because there's a few things that happen throughout the year, and it's a real thrill. And then when you learn that you can do pattern testing for people, I'm just popping the red on here next. I think that one's called pumpkin bread. you learn things that you never knew existed when you spend time on there and on here. I'm not on Facebook so much anymore. No, I'm not actually. But whatever I post on Instagram does go onto Facebook. But I just can't be on another platform and do it well and reply to everybody. So I'll stick with Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, because I'm having so much fun here with you all. And I hope you are too. I hope I can bring things to the table that you enjoy and that might help you or give you some inspiration. Vima, I started my YouTube at the end of July last year, so I've just gone past my 1 year birthday or anniversary. So that was a bit of a thrill. It went really quick, actually, really quick. So yeah, I felt proud. I felt proud of all the things I've learned, because there's a lot to learn that's in the background of YouTube. There's a lot of technical things to learn that if you're like me, we don't actually know about, whereas younger people just know them off the top of their head. They've grown up with it and they're used to it. Anyway, so it just takes me time to figure things out and lots of Google searches. But that's fine, because once you've learned it, it's like, okay, I'm getting that bit closer to knowing how to work this whole thing. I had to fiddle to get the live happening. I was wondering if I was going to make it, but yep, here we are. Now, Granny Square Day is tomorrow. If you don't know what that is, it is on the 15th of August every year. The whole world celebrates Granny Square Day. And it's basically a celebration of the Granny Square, the humble traditional Granny Square. So what we do is put up one or more photos onto Instagram. Of the content. Oh, that's really good. I look for people like me too. I look for channels that do blankets and other projects, because at the moment, plushies are extremely popular. And yes, I like them and they're really cute, but I don't make them because amigurumi and I'm short plushies would hurt me too much. So it's a no-go for me. I do watch some of them, but I just find the majority of the channels are about plushies at the moment, which is great. They're really cute. Like I said, they're lovely, just not for me. I'm a blanket lover. What do I love about blankets? I love the styles you can make them in. I love the colors you can use. I love the fact that you put a lot of love into them, and when you give that blanket to somebody, it's like giving them a big hug filled with your love. That's why I love blankets. And then when they're finished, just to see the end result, it's such an achievement. Yeah, I've been a blanket lover from the start, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. What I probably do need to do is a few more smaller projects, like I did with, I'll show you my little rustic pouch. Hang on a tick. I made this one in January, I think, and I absolutely love it. I know Janice and Geraldine have both made one. So there's tutorials for that, and I don't even care that the little flowers curl up. I think they're really cute. I also made a tote bag as well in these same colours, in this same yarn. So there's a pattern for that. Thank you, Vima. I love it. It's got the linen stitch on the back. It's so cute. And I've lined it, so I've got my crochet gear in there. And I made a bigger one as well. I don't know where I've put that. Hang on one tick. Yeah, flowers are beautiful, aren't they? No, not there. Don't know where I've put the bigger one. I have to track that down. Anyway, so what I was saying is I really need to start doing a few more smaller projects. I do want to do a wall hanging. I said on one of my videos to pop on a spare space on my newly painted wall. How do you love my little craft room makeover? I am so happy with it that it actually makes me feel like keeping it tidy. Yeah. Flowers just inspire us in so many ways, don't they? And we put flowers in a lot of our crochet work. Yeah, I actually am keeping the room tidy. I'm really proud of what we created. Mr. Gumnuts painted the wall for me, which has absolutely made all the difference. Yeah, we are. We're all lovers of yarn, aren't we? That's a whole separate thing on its own, which is really nice. Yeah. Yep. Do whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you smile. That's the main thing. And the beauty of being here is we have a lot to choose from. So wall hangings, I need to maybe get into doing a bit of that. More scarves, shawls. I actually have a wrap that I did in a Tunisian crochet that I want to convert to normal crochet. So that one's in my mind as well. That will be after the rectangle blanket and probably after, or maybe at the same time, that I do a crochet along by Deirdre Use. UYS. I don't know how to say that. She is Look at What I Made. That's her website. So if you go on there, you'll see all, yeah, it really is. We're so lucky, aren't we? If you go onto Deirdre's website, you'll see the next crochet along that's coming up, which is called The Universe in Bloom. So lots of flowers again, theme of lots of flowers. I am going to do that in Stylecraft Special DK. So I'll take you with me when I get my yarn out. I've written down the colours that she has it, and that one's made in cotton. I want to do the one that's called Earth, but I'm transferring those colours over to Stylecraft Special DK and do my 8-ply with a 4mm hook. And I'm not going to do the whole blanket because it's huge and I know that I can't manage it. You know when you make blankets and they take an hour to get around the whole thing? That's how long the rows can take. Well, that pushes me over the edge, literally, with my pain. So I'm not going that far. I'll pull it up and make it a lapgan size, throw size, just not a bed size. So go and have a look at that one if you haven't seen it. It is really beautiful. Deirdre also did the Sophie's Universe and another cow called Ubuntu some years back. I did both of those and loved every minute of them. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. Go and have a look and see if you might like to join in with me. Now, back to Granny Square Day. We're celebrating the humble Granny Square and everything that the Granny Square has become. So we take photos of Granny Squares of your choice, doesn't matter which ones, and we post them on Instagram. And you can literally spend, well, I do spend 48 hours looking at beautiful Granny Squares because the sun comes up and the day starts at the east of us along the line of Samoa. It then goes to New Zealand, and then Eastern Australia is the first major continent to wake up in the morning. So I'll go on and pop my photos on. Then I get to watch all that day and night, and then all the day afterwards as the rest of the world wakes up and posts. Because if the other end of the world posts in the afternoon, it can be nearly 48 hours by the time I see it. So I have a great old time for 2 days, just looking and loving all the granny squares and the colours that people make. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Oh, Sandy, make a blanket. That's so funny. I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. Save it and make the rectangle blanket with us. I really love Stylecraft. I love Paintbox too. And I'm not at the love stage with Yarnsmiths only because I've only made one blanket in that. It was nice. It just felt different in a way that I can't describe. But the colours they've got, well, that got me in. So that's why I bought a whole bunch of Yarnsmiths. I'm looking forward to using it more and really getting used to it. That'll be great. Yep, Granny Swear Day. If you're not on Instagram and you'd like to join in, pop your photos in my community feed. I'll put mine in there as well. It'd be great if we had a few in there that we can ooh and ah over. Now, if you're feeling up to making a fancy granny square and you haven't got one ready for tomorrow, I've got 3 tutorials that you can use to make a granny square. Now, I don't know about you, but I consider anything that's made in the round as a granny square, but the squares that you go across ways, I feel that they're called crochet squares. Let me know if you feel the same way. Now, I have to look at my list for this. This one is the Patch of Posies. And this one was done during a game played, What Were You Thinking? So you get a friend, and you and your friend, did you get that? Yes. Well, yeah, I did, Wool Warehouse. I either get my yarn from Love Crafts or Wool Warehouse, and that's where I did get the Yarnsmiths. This Patch of Posies was made by Tess from Sisters in Stitch and myself. So we designed every second round, and you don't know what your friend is going to come up with next. And that worked out to be such a pretty square. The next one is called the Springtime Blossom. And this is the same scenario. I did this one with an Australian friend named Ralmy, and her Instagram handle is Mindfully Crafty. She hasn't crocheted much lately because she's got too much pain, and I miss her so. So that one is really pretty. Love that. As I do the April Blossom. Now, this one wasn't made playing that game. This one was designed by Lena. Yeah, aren't they beautiful? Lena is on Instagram and her handle is Crocholint. Yep, Crocholint. And no, it's Crococlint. So she's from Northern Europe somewhere. So she has a tricky name, but she's got a few beautiful patterns. Now you can either find them via her on Instagram or on Ravelry. She has them on Ravelry. I'll pop her name in the description box at the bottom of this video, just in case you'd like to make some, because she's got quite a few free patterns. So you can make one of those if you feel you would like to. You can do whatever you like. I'm so keen to see what people are going to use. I've got to finish off and do my photos for my granny squares tomorrow. I'm just doing something plain and classic. When you'll see, you'll go, oh, I know what she means. Okay, did I finish my story? Where was I up to, you guys? I did the affiliate sponsor. Oh, I think I was just talking about our crochet life. How we get to be here and how our crochet life is so important to us. It has more benefits than people would realize. Before I became unwell, I was a big exerciser. I loved exercise, swam a lot. I swam a lot when I was young. I loved the meditation of the black line. And gee, I miss that. I miss it. But you know what? Crochet has replaced that for me. Watching every move that you do is like watching the black line, and you do relax and your mind wanders off. So they call that being mindful, but it is also mindless in the way that we can just do it without having to think too hard. And like swimming, you have sensory things happening too, and that's the yarn. That's our love of yarn, of soft yarn, of all the different colours that we take in via our eyes, another sensory experience. So there's a lot of similarities between crocheting and exercise. So I've been lucky to be able to replace one for the other. Now, I didn't know that this crochet life existed. It took me a few years to figure it out because my girls said to me, "Oh, Mum, have a look on Pinterest." Then when I looked on Pinterest and started to see what crochet had become, I was so amazed that early on, what I did mostly was everything but the granny cluster. Because I'd known that from my childhood and from doing it at school, I wasn't interested. I just wanted to learn everything else that there was to learn. You know, all the different stitches and the different, can I call it wool? I still really want to call yarn wool. I really do. We used to call it wool when we were young. Everything was wool. Didn't matter what it was made out of. And once my eyes were open to what was really going on out there in the world, I was just blown away. I'd originally bought some cheap yarn, well, not so cheap actually, from Spotlight, and I didn't love it. You know, it was one of the Marvel range and it wasn't very soft, etc. Yeah, that's the time, isn't it, Vima, to discover these things when we aren't so well. Thank goodness we did. So I'd bought all this cheap yarn and from the cheap shop as well, and it felt soft enough to the touch, except when you crocheted with it, it didn't. And I didn't know Love Crafts existed. I didn't know that Stylecraft and Paint Box existed. And when I found out, well, didn't I go crazy? Because again, being unwell and not having yarn stores here except for Spotlight, which I don't love most of their yarn. I'm sorry to say that. The girls on Instagram taught me about our other yarn options, and I spent out big because one, I do it when it's on sale, and back then we used to get free shipping if you spent over a certain amount, and it also allows us when we want to make a project to just go to our yarn stash. My husband was like, "What are you doing?" And then when I showed him pictures of other people's yarn stash, he was like, "Oh, okay, I see, it's a thing." And it is a thing, and it brings so much joy to us, doesn't it? So that's kind of how things evolved for me, and I just got deeper and deeper into it as I was just on Instagram all the time. I actually did a podcast, I just can't remember, with Making Stitches way back when. So she rang me from overseas somewhere at some ungodly hour for her. What else did I do? I was part of an online magazine. Yeah, we did. And I want to call it wool again. How about we put out a petition? I think calling it wool is nice. It's just nice. Okay, I'm not going to tie those in just yet. Darn them in. I'll do them when I'm finished here. I'd love to call it wool. Anyway, I find yarn quite hard to say. Now, which colour's next? I'm repeating what I've got at the beginning for the moment. So it's the dark green, the bottle kind of green, which is actually a really good thing to have in this lineup of colours, because the yellow or the mustard and the bottle green are making the colours pop. Whereas that olive green, the red and the grey are really on the down low. So they're good for popping. Oh boy, am I getting hot. Okay, as I said, I'm going to try and save this live stream to share with all of those who couldn't be here. I didn't know what time to do it because, so 11:30 in the morning for me, an evening time for you. So everyone in Australia, if they're not at home like I am, will be working. So I'll save it for then. I think that's all. Yep. That's all I had. I gave myself some prompters because I thought I wouldn't remember what to say. But we've been going for 41 minutes. It's 9 p.m. in Canada. Okay, thanks. Yep. I was thinking it might have been evening and late evening time. Where are you, Vima? 7:30 a.m. Are you in Asia somewhere? Asia area, India? The sun's just come up for you. India, yeah. Okay, well, very good morning. You're about to start your day. I hope you get some crochet in today too. Can't remember where I was up to. We were talking about how we got to be here and the thrill that we have because we found it. You're welcome. I might wrap things up now. I'm actually getting a bit hot sitting near this window. Windows are all closed so we can keep out the outside noise. And I'm going to go off, photograph my granny square of the day squares and do some more work on this because I want to do a pretty border. I've saved a ball of the cream. Oh, okay. Do you have a YouTube channel as well? Oh, you're absolutely welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's such a thrill. I'm going to go off and do more of this today so I can get to the border and figure out what I'm going to make for that. I want to do a pretty one. Not sure if it'll be looking all right in cream and if it's very wide. Yeah, okay, great. Can you pop up your YouTube handle for me, Vima? Or is it Vima's Crochet? And I'll go and find it. I love finding new channels. I go through them from the bottom up because I get to know people doing it that way. And I really like that. So don't forget. Oh, that's great. I have lots and lots, 250 videos down below. If you ask me for something specific, I'll go and find out where it is for you. But have a little scroll, see if there's anything more that's interesting. My first lot of videos, of course, like everyone's, aren't as great as the more recent ones because we live and learn, don't we? That's with anything in life. All right, I'll start rambling, so I had better go make another cup of tea. I'm so pleased you were here and thank you for hanging out with me. We'll do another live again another day. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Take lots of care. Happy crocheting, everybody, and I'll see you all really soon. Oh, love you. That's really sweet. Thank you. That's so nice. Have a great day, won't you? Bye for now.